Golden Week is here, and with it we have a new Dual Dokkan Fest. But should you summon? To put it simply, I think you definitely should if you're a new player. No real questions about that. Many of the featured units are good, but the problem for veterans will be that many of these have returned several times before. If you're a veteran, figure out how many of these units you still need and then base it off the ratio. Buu and Gotenks are both great units, but definitely not must-haves, although I will make a bit more of a case for Buu later on in the video. But let's get into the details and talk about which banner is the better value in today's episode. Spoilers, it's Gotenks. Welcome everyone, my name is Waffles the Asian Yanber, and welcome to Should You Summon, the series where we take a look at new banners, analyze their value, and I tell you whether or not I think you should summon on them. Now we mainly look at these banners from a free-to-play standpoint, as free-to-play players need to be more careful with how they use their stones, but of course, banner value applies to dolphins and whales too. But with all that being said, let's get started. So okay, let's give a quick rundown on what these two new units do. If you want to just skip that, head to the timestamp on your screen. So, Gotenks is Super Int and a dual category leader. He leads a new category, Special Pose, with Ki +4 and 170% to HP attack and defense. And his second category is Youth with Ki +3, HP and attack 170% and defense 130%. So let's just get it out of the way. Special Pose is awful. Just real bad. All it is Gotenks units, which are already on use, Great Saiyaman units, the Ginyu Force, which I guess makes him kind of newbie friendly, because he buffs the very first free-to-play team that you try to get, and Ribrianne. Also the one Topo unit we have, but that doesn't really count. Essentially, you're just running him as a youth leader, plus a handful of other units. His super attack in base form raises his defense for a turn, and his passive is barely anything, it's just Ki +1, attack and defense 100%. But then he goes Super Saiyan on the third turn, which is an excellent transformation condition. From there, you're likely going to be using him in this form for most of the battle, as his condition to transform into Super Saiyan 3 is another 4 more turns and 70% HP or more. So in Super Saiyan 1, his super attack has a 70% chance to stun, which is great. He then has 100% attack and defense, plus a 50% chance to raise his attack another 50% twice, and then the same for his defense. So you also get a 25% chance to launch another super attack. So assuming that all the buffs are independent, you have a 25% chance to get the full 100% boost on each stat, so it's attack or defense, and a 6% chance to get 100% to both. That is honestly not great. So just treat him as having 150% to attack and defense. That's going to be pretty easy to get, which is slightly lower than most units get. If you do end up getting him to transform to Super Saiyan 3, the biggest thing is that he raises his attack and defense on Super for 3 turns and has a 70% chance to launch an additional super attack. So the leader skill is meh, the stun chance is good, his passive is meh, Super Saiyan 3 is great, but it takes a really long time to get here. One last good bonus from him though is that he has 9 categories, if I can get over to the categories here. He has 9 categories, 4 of them are top tier, that's Hybrid Saiyans, Transformation Boost, Last Resort, and Super Saiyans. And you could also argue fusions, but that's a little bit debatable. So overall, Gotenks is strong, he's usable on a lot of teams, but he doesn't really add anything to the game, he's just straight power. A lot of his unique qualities are kind of to his detriment with those luck-based stat boosts. Now, Majin Buu's leader skill follows a similar format to Gotenks, but instead of youth, he has artificial life forms, and his new category is Majin Power, which really is just Majin Buu. Now this category is bad, don't get me wrong there, but it does help to fix something that has been very wrong with Majin Buu units for a long time. Key issues. Most Buu units don't have many key links, so Buu giving each other Buu unit Ki +4 helps a ton. If you're running the double lead, you're starting at 8 Ki for each unit. Are you going to be able to make a top tier team with this leader skill? No, not really, but it does actually have a good use for many Buu units, and you can make a whole team of just Majin Buu. So, Buu in base form has a super attack that raises his attack, that's pretty standard, but his passive has a very nice detail. He reduces damage by 40%, which is the same as ADL Zamasu, so even in base form, he's able to tank pretty decently. His exchange condition is the same as Gotenks, so on the third turn he changes to Evil Buu. Evil Buu keeps the damage reduction and gains a 25% dodge chance and a 40% chance to stun. He also gets Sealing on his super attack, and his passive will give him Ki +2. So you're at 10 Ki if you're under the double lead, and 150% attack, which is about what you're expecting from Gotenks, but instead of a defense boost, you get damage reduction and a dodge chance. And finally, Super Buu has the same condition as Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, so if you make it another 4 turns, He gets 12% crit chance for every rainbow orb, 50% damage reduction, and 220% attack plus 3 ki. So Buu's leader skill is bad, but a little bit usable. His passive is great, ceiling is nice, and Super Buu is also good, but that's where you'll find Gotenks pulling ahead. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is better than Super Buu. Buu also has one very, very good thing going for him though. The fact that he's Extreme Teq. Extreme Teq is one of the most starved typings, and having a sealer for it is A+. Buu is better as a unit than Gotenks and adds more to the game. However, Bandai and Akatsuki know this, and Gotenks' banner is better, so let's quickly go over those banners. Gotenks' banner, of course, has Gotenks, which we just went over, Int Super Saiyan 2 Goku, which is just alright. He provides a nice buff to Super Saiyan 3. Physical Piccolo, who tanks like a monster, really great defensive unit, also shows enemy super attacks. Teq Trunks, which is absolutely amazing for new players. His leader skill includes 120% to all super types, which really helps a box with limited options. AGL Gogeta, who gets attacks effective against all types, good dodge chance, and a great leader skill. Physical Gotenks, which is just okay, he's a good linking partner for the new Gotenks. And Teq Gotenks, who is a better linking partner, but you also have to be able to beat his Easy A. Overall, I can't really fault this banner too much other than the fact that Trunks, Gogeta, and Physical Gotenks have been on a bunch of banners this past year. If you don't have them, most of this banner is great. However, I think if you have any more than 2 of these units, it's probably a skip. It's the difference between a 30% chance per multi and a 25% chance of pulling at least one of these good units. So, kind of up to you, figure out what your ratio is, and then decide. Now for Buu, you've got Buu, which we covered, Teq Majin Vegeta, who is alright, a little bit better than Int Goku, but the switching between Super and Extreme is a little bit more of a liability. STR Buu, who I think we all kind of knew that he was going to be on this banner, but it's still not great. He's outclassed as a leader by STR Cooler, and he's just kind of a niche unit, but he does have uses on Buu's team. AGL Zamasu, who is just so good for new players, for the exact same reason as the Trunks. But even now, I find myself using Zamasu a ton. I literally just used him for beating the Int Trunks EZA. Literally all the time I'm using him. Now, Physical Broly, who is also a World Tournament King. AGL Metal Cooler, who leads Frieza Family Heals and has a giant form, and, oh god, why is he on here, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, who is an Extreme Teq leader for Battlefield, although not the best Extreme Teq leader, and has paper-thin defenses that get shredded by his own super attack. This guy, bad pull. As much as I hate to say it, Buu's banner is a skip. Teq Buu, AGL Zamasu, and Physical Broly stand out as great units, but the rest range from Metal Cooler, who is still pretty good, to one of the worst Dokkan Fests. 3 out of 7 amazing units is a bad ratio, and 4 out of 7 still not great. Finally, there's 2 more pieces I should mention. Number 1 is the timing. If I'm remembering correctly, the next celebrations are Goku Day on May 10th and the Tanabata Festival in July. The Tanabata banner is usually a huge skip filled with way too many featured units, and Goku Day last year just gave us stones on JP. So we really don't know if anything good is coming, we're kinda just in the JP dry period. There is some time to save before the next amazing banners come. Second, these banners are buy 3 get 1 free, so after 3 multis you do get a free multi. It's every 3 multis, the 4th one is free. It does add some value to the banners, but I think my opinions still stand here. So Buu's the better unit, but Gotenks has the better banner. Overall, I think you'll see veterans skipping these and the new players going in. My advice for you is to figure out what your own ratio is for these and maybe summon on Gotenks. Now, what am I doing personally? It's really a difficult decision, honestly. My Extreme Teq is so bare bones. I'll show you guys right now. That's Extreme Teq. There's Extreme. My Extreme Teq is just awful, and I really wanted Vegeta when he came out, but I have every other unit on Buu's banner. A 2 to 7 ratio gives me only a 13% chance per multi, but with my account needs, look at this account. I need Extreme Teq units, so I think it might actually be worth the risk. So I will be going 2 full rounds, or until I get the Buu. Hopefully I'll get the Buu quicker than that. But 300 stones gives me a 43% chance to pull the Buu, so we're risking the biscuit a little bit. I'll have that video probably up tomorrow, but until then, I hope you all have a good day, good week, good life, and wish me luck. Happy summons. Goodbye.